First 10 minutes was difficult for us. Was not in the game. It was not strong enough. Sundowns find always a good high pressure and good solution, and get to create chances. Then after the goal, what we considered was a wake up maybe, and then we go forward. Then we have we get our goal, it comes back, we take then a little bit more, lead then a little bit more the game, comes to good opportunities to score, but have done maybe, I think 2 times cover, 1 time Skabasa, a little bit unluck for scoring, and it was then in halftime. Halftime the same things, 10, 15 minutes, not on the field, we get the goal. Then we come always back, have then also opportunities to can make the second goal. Yeah, and then before we get the third goal, but then we comes back and have also the possibilities to score. And then Sundowns was very good. They play quick in the front, have good attackers, and we do then the subs. We tried to get a goal for us on our side, but this was not enough today. The performance from our team was not enough today. Sundowns was better. If you have to win here, then you need other performance, and you need 90 minutes full concentration, and then you need also you have the chance to score, then you need the goal, and this was not enough today.
Okay, Karabo, first question.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Coach. Unlucky on the result. I just wanted to find out from you, Coach, what exactly disappointed you the most? Is it the performance, the hunger, or the quality of Sundowns is just too good? I mean, River had so much a space, in the first half. There's also Mudiba on the left who looked like, he's just got a bit of a freeway on the left. But what disappointed you the most this evening with the result or the performance? Thank you.
I think it's both. We was not in. You see, we have then during the game always the control back, but you have to be then stronger, and you have to be then in the right moment, the right decision. This is the things what Sundowns makes better in a moment. They find the windows, they play through the lines, and then they have in a moment a run. Yeah, they have the strikers. They score all games a lot. This is the reason, and we was not then in the first 10 minutes not in the second half, then the 10 minutes not in, you get in the goals, and then it's not easy, you come back. But I think it's both. Sundowns make a good performance. It was not enough today for winning this game. I think it's not the hunger, and I cannot say the team, they don't want work. No, they want, but you have so days, and the results for me looks like higher, like the game give us. Maybe the 4 goals is okay, but then we can also have 3 or 4 goals on our side. Then it's other result, and it looks like other, but so looks for one, and then looks the performance not so. We know the performance was not enough, but we speak about now Sundowns. They lead the Champions League. They lead the league also. They are in a top shape, and it's not easy. Then you can work against a team. If you have not then the opportunities, you can score. We have the opportunities, but we don't score. And you need in so special games, in a cup game, you need then the goal. And we have the post, and the keeper one saved good. One time he was not concentration enough, and then you cannot win the game. If you score in the first half 2 times, then it's 3-1 for us. And then you have to see what's happened with Sundowns when we play the counter attack. But it was not enough today.
All right, I see that we've got quite a few hands. 1 question per person, please. Velile, you're up next.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for Coach Velile here. And lucky on the result. Just on your defensive organization, especially there at centre back. Were you concerned, especially starting from the first goal? Maybe you're not compact enough. I was looking at how Shalulile was able to beat the two defenders in holding the ball and also drawing closer some of the attackers. Just on not being compact enough in your defense today.
Yeah, it's true. It was not enough. The first goal we have 9 players on the field, 10 players, then nine field players on the field, and yeah, then we have not pressure on the ball, and then it's normally a signal we have to drop, and we know when they find the players or the attackers, they can run over the lines and they touch runs. What they did, this is very good. They have a speed, and we was not then in the situation 100% in the game, and this was sure a problem. Yes.
Josi.
Thank you, Fatu. Hard luck, coach. Just a question in regards to some of your answers in regards to Mamelodi Sundowns obviously winning today and being on top of the log. Coach, how do you, in your opinion, how do you guys as Orlando Pirates go about cutting the gap between yourself and Orlando Pirates? Obviously, between yourself and Mamelodi Sundowns. Obviously, the league is still ongoing. You just mentioned that they are top of the log. You already won a cup this season, but how do you cut that gap between yourself and Mamelodi Sundowns so that Pirates also can be on top of the log and dominate as much as Sundowns is currently dominating right now? Thank you.
Yeah, for me, I'm very disappointed. Yeah, it's clear. I think the players also and the club also, supporters also. We have a chance. We came in the next round with the win, but now it's the win not here, and we have now the next focus is we have the league also. The league is not finished. We have fight for good results, and we have the cup, and it's also fight for good results. It's not off, but after this game, we are very disappointed. This is clear. We lost against Sundowns. This was not a good result. This was not a good performance. But I say it again, it's a cup game, and you have after the game, you have. If you lose 2-1 and you give not all what you can in the attack, then you can ask here why we make not more offense, why we close the shop after the 3-1 or after the 2-1. No, after 2-1 we was open, we go forward and we go to the attack, but we have not the luck today. We have the chance we can score the equalizer, but we have said again in the first half we have 2 big chances. Then you lead the game 3-1. It looks like the results looks like bad, but the game give normally inside the other results. Yeah, Sundowns was better today. It was not enough for us, but we tomorrow is a new day. We have to focus on the next games. We have to focus on the tournament cup, and then we go forward. Yeah, it's so we have to accept. It's not good for us. I'm very upset. Yeah, it's clear, but. It was better today. This was not enough, and then we have to accept it.
Okay, last question for the coach. Sandile, briefly, please.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, just to follow up on a question earlier regarding the defense. Is your defense, your backline, generally a concern for you? I mean, Velile did allude that. When Shalulile has the ball, it takes up 2. If not 3 men, it's very clumsy, very shaky. Is your defense generally a concern?
It's not only defense. We're starting the defense by the striker. Yeah, that's clear. This is now, then comes the midfield, and then comes the defenders. This is not so. We say now the defenders have the problems with the strikers. If you close or you goes in a good angle, they cannot play the balls through the lines so easy. It is always a shifting problems. You're shifting good, then they cannot play inside. You have a good pressure, then they cannot play easy build up. And this was together we against the ball together was not good enough today. It was not good. We was not in this pressure what we have normally. We was not in a build-up what we have normally. And it's not maybe yeah, we can say Sundowns, but normally we have other shape and we have other run and we have other defense work. But it was a game now, and we have to accept this. As I say it again, it was not enough today. You can win so a game. It was close to win, but then you have to score this 2 opportunities what you have in the first half. Then you have a big chance. In so games you can win against so team like Sundowns in the moment. They have a big moment. Yeah, you see what they did today and the last weeks also. They have a good team, and we have not enough players in the moment. You see today, Maela is not in as a center back. You can then change maybe also other players also. Yeah, Lodge is also key players. We have not available, but it's not excuse. We have the chance today. We can score. We can go ahead in the game. Yeah, Sundowns have enough chances, but this is also a away game for us. Don't forget this always. This was a cup game, but this is an away game for us. And then we play a little bit other style. And after this wake ups, after this scoring, after this consider, then we go forward. And there's the question why we make it not earlier. This is the question what we have. But I have to watch the game and again, and then we find out. Then we discuss this. We find then the solution what we makes the next games better.
Good evening to everyone. I think the game came out the way we had anticipated it. In our tactical agreements, we knew that one, if we can press them from the top and put some pressing traps on certain individual players, we can benefit. And in our analysis, we also saw that they conceded a lot of goals in the early stages of the match. That's why we were applying a lot of pressure beginning of first half and also beginning of second half, because we knew they are prone to making a lot of mistakes in those moments. But what was more important for us was to guard against their transitions from defense to attack, because they are very quick, which was unfortunate for us to concede the goal that we conceded, because we knew that in transition they are very dangerous and our counter-pressing was not proper. Again, it was from a situation where we were already facing their last line of defense and we made a mistake and they capitalized on that and they fought for the space behind the defense. Our rest defense was not one of the best, and we did not break the press when we realized that they might be looking for the space behind, because we did not have counter-pressing players around the ball when we lost possession. But credit must be given to our boys. I think they worked very hard in making sure that they minimize a lot of transitions, because you know when you're playing against Pirates, if you make the game to be back and forth a lot, you are bound to, you are putting it into a contest. And once it's a contest, it's a game that they are more comfortable with and they can punish you from that game, because it becomes mainly more accidental than anything else, because no one is clinical in keeping the ball and making sure that they do not have momentum in their transitions. And I think we did that very well. We're more composed in our build-ups, frustrated them a lot with the movement of the ball. Unfortunately, when you don't take your chances, then you make the game to go into a contest, because from the chances we created first half, we could have buried the game at that point. But when you don't take your chances at a certain point, they get a silly goal. And from that goal now, the game is back into a contest and the anxiety now starts to creep in, because you think, hey, the chances that we missed, maybe they're going to come back and bite us. We start making more mistakes. There was a moment where there were too many transitions and it looked like they are on top of us. But again, we regained our confidence and composure and started playing again. But I think the game came out the way we had planned it. I do believe we could have easily scored more than 8 goals in this match, to be honest. If you count the chances that we created first half that we did not take, and we count the the number of penalty calls that I really believe were penalty calls, I think 3 or 4, the game could have been different, but we appreciate the result and we thank everybody in the team, from the players, the ones that were at home, the ones that were in the stands, the support that we are getting from that group. The technical team and our support staff, we are working very well. Everybody is working hard. The medical department is bringing players back. We don't have too many players injured at this stage. The support staff is doing their best to make sure that the team is focusing on the performance. And the administrative staff in the team has really done tremendously well. And I hear the support that comes from our supporters as well. The Yellow Nation is forever behind us. It's a little bit tough for them because they are not able to come and watch the team. But I think everything is coming together. And we must also thank our president and the board for affording us the opportunity to work in this club and supporting us with the resources that we have, because not many teams would have substitutes like Shompu Kikani, substitute like, let's say, the Kapila coming into the match at a later stage. So that is a proper teamwork where all departments are really coming together and making the team to look good. And I really appreciate that. The coaches that I work with, they are working very hard. Our analysts, they are really giving their best. I even made mention of Coach Wendell, the goalkeeper coach, today with Marcus, because our goalkeepers have really done very well. And we never really give credit at times to these people, but it's important that we must always acknowledge everyone from the team, because everybody is really pulling together and it's looking good.
I thank you very much, Coach. I'll now take questions from the floor. I'll just take 2 questions from the floor, just 2 questions with regards to the match that just took place. It'll just be 2, and then we'll move on to the preview for the next match, which is on Sunday. Clifford, I promised you first question, so you can go ahead.
Thank you, Fatu. Good evening, Coach, and congratulations on the win. Coach, looking at some of the performances that you've put out in the Nedbank Cup, would you rate this as the most clinical performance against the top team?
I wouldn't really say it was the most clinical, but what becomes more interesting to me at this stage is the confidence and the composure, and maybe a stronger conviction from our team to play the type of football that we want to play. Because at times you would have panic buttons, and as a supporter or somebody who is sitting at home, you'd be scared and say, hey, these people, what are they doing? Why they are trying to play from the back? And we are trying to make sure that we minimize the mistakes and the accidents of the ball coming back, because on transition, the opponents are very dangerous. The team is growing in stature, but the fact of the matter is we have performed very well. Even against Stellenbosch, we had a very good performance. And the game against Polokwane, you can say whatever I want to say, but for me, that was the most clinical performance that we gave, because we wanted to finish the game early, and we finished the game early. First half, in the first 30 minutes, we're already leading 4-0, and that is what, when you are having a program like ours, you should consider as very clinical, but take nothing away from the performance of today. Everybody worked very hard. Our players are respecting our tactical agreements, and they are doing very well to make sure that whatever that we put in place and as a plan or a strategy for the match, they try their level best to attach themselves to it. And that, as a coach, is always encouraging.
Okay, Mazola.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, congrats on the win. Coach, I just wanted to find out, obviously, from a neutral point of view, the first half was quite entertaining, but second half, Sundowns, from a Sundowns perspective, the game, you took it up a gear. I'm just keen to hear what exactly changed, because, I mean, as I said, the first half was still quite entertaining, but it just seemed like Sundowns were just on another planet in the second half.
Yeah, man, the challenge that maybe the goal that we considered made us to respect the game, because at times players tend to forget what the game is all about. We had made them aware of the challenges of losing possession, of not playing into areas where there's less possibilities of transitions or counterattacks, trying to go into the wide channels, finding Tapelo a little bit more, finding Modiba a little bit more, instead of trying to go into the traffic. And I think that's how we managed to score the goals that we scored second half, because we started to use our width a little bit more, and they tried to play with a back five at some point, with Hoto playing as a wing back on one side and Mark on the opposite side. Then it gave us a little bit more chance to play in between on the outside of their central midfielders in the half spaces with Mngqithi and Lebu, with River responsible for the switches from either side. And that quality is very hard to come by, where you've got a midfielder that can easily play with the left and find the right back, and he can also easily play with the right and find the left back. It makes our job easy, more especially when we play against a low block. And I think that's where the goals came from, and maybe a little bit more patience and in taking care of the ball and making sure that we don't give away possession easily, because Pirates is the most dangerous team in the league on transition. And I think that is one area of our game that maybe improve in leaps and bounds, and our players were a little bit more cautious because we had warned them that we do not want this game to go into a contest. And to be honest, we had told them that it's a game that can be a 4 or 5-0 game if they play with a lot of composure, they play with a lot of patience, they play with a lot of width, and we don't lose too many balls. And when we started doing that better, that's when we started to look good.
Okay, we are now looking forward to the match on Sunday, the semi-final against Chakuma FC. Karabo, you'll have the first question as we preview that match.
Okay, thank you, Fatu. Good evening, Coach. This is just an extension from what you said in terms of there's still aspects that you guys need to improve. But Coach, maybe to some might be a bit arrogant, and also for me, please try to educate me. I mean, your football is variant. You can go long, you can go short. There's triangles, there's always runners off the ball. The players looks like, they tactically astute, they understand what you want from them. There's also the technical gifted players. There's players that still need to come in. When you say you need to improve, Coach, what is it that you need to improve? Because this looks like it's a machine that keeps on improving game in, game out. Thank you.
If we were a well-oiled machine, we would not have had so many counter-attacks in this match. We've lost too many balls. And I think I was talking about this even beginning of the season, that it's one area that as a coach, I don't find joy in players losing possession cheap, because I know when you lose possession, you're exposing your limitations defensively and you are challenging your team physically more. I think that is one area of our game that for me still has to improve a lot, because I still believe at times we become casual and we make silly mistakes technically, not mistakes that are forced because opponents are putting you under pressure, but a lot of unforced errors that result in turnovers. If you can check the goal that we considered, we were in the attacking threat. We already had a chance, maybe with Peter receiving the ball and making sure that the pass he plays to Mngqithi is more precise. We would not have considered the goal. But in our attacking play, there's also some elements and some runs that we are demanding in our triangulation. We've got expectations of trying to break the line and create more problems in the last line of the defenders with the 8s taking the spaces, maybe at times between the center backs and the fullbacks, and the 10s taking those spaces to try and unlock or dislocate center backs into wrong positions, so that when we come back, we can have a better possibility inside the box. And at times we don't do that. We are prone to playing fit, even when there are possibilities to try and make life a little bit difficult for the opponents and to force their last line to be caught in wrong defensive positions. There's still so much. And again, we are not shrewd enough. This is the same team that created so many chances against Chippa on Monday, but how many goals did we score? We struggled to score as many goals as we could. So there will always be elements of our game that must improve. And remember, we are also using these games as a preparation for Champions League. And we are a very unfortunate team, to be honest, at times, because if you check Black Leopards that we played against, they had one chance, the one shot at goal, and they managed to salvage a draw out of nothing. Tina, we make so many mistakes and miss so many chances, but people have got a tendency of getting one chance and scoring. Cheaper midweek, they got one chance and scored. So it's always going to be important for us to stay more focused, because for whatever reason, teams that we play against don't miss as much as we miss. And that creates a lot of problems for us.
Okay, let's go to KZN. Mlungelo.
Hello, evening. Yes, a question, coach, will be this weekend we will play.
Can you just move closer to the microphone? Or,
am I fine now? All right. Okay. Question, coach, will be that you are playing a TTM on Sunday. The team unpredictable. At the same time, you are fighting for the league. Players for this match. For game and the league since na koni league foot ukwagele then ngiyathemba ukuthi ufuna nokuyithatha.
I do not think we will rest any player for these coming matches. The reason why we played the team that we played against Belostad was because at the back of our minds, we're already looking at these 3-4 matches that are coming, which was Chippa, Pirates, potentially Chakuma or Maritzburg if we did not go through. And also after that, a possibility of going to Amazulu. And so that's why we took a risk of not playing most of our key players because we thought we could still get something from that match without most of the players that have been playing regularly. So we believe the group that we have, it is very important for them to really give their best shot in the next 5 matches because the next 5 matches can be very critical. Maybe they can even decide our season. So we will not be hoping to rest anyone. I don't think we can think like that now. All these matches are very important to us.
And then Mngqithi.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, obviously looking forward to the game against TTM. Do you anticipate maybe TTM will be a bit more of a tight affair, having just beaten Pirates 4-1? Not many teams can beat Pirates 4-1. So do you anticipate maybe a much more tighter affair in that fixture, seeing that it just gave most of the league a bit of a warning that Sundowns, because obviously you guys scored 4-1, but honestly you could have scored bucket loads of goals today. So do you anticipate maybe a much more tighter affair in regards to the fixture against TTM? Thank you, Coach.
If they decide to sit back, I think they will make the game very easy for us. We played against them and they started that habit of going backwards, and it gave us a chance to be able to punish them. If I was them, I would take the game to Sundowns because you have nothing to lose. And I think their coaches are aware that when you're playing Sundowns, you better give it your best shot. And for me, the best advice I can give to any team at this stage is why sit back? Because even Pirates tried to sit back and played with 5 second half. And that's when they considered a lot of goals when they played with 5 at the back. So the only thing I can tell you is that TTM is one of the most awkward teams in the league. I believe they've got some very interesting attacking players. It's unfortunate that they are a new team and nobody would give them as much respect. And maybe now they have not found their feet because there's been a lot happening within their team. But in terms of playing personnel, they've got some very, very dangerous players. And we know for a fact that if they can come and turn it on and want to come at us, we will really have a lot of problems. But it's up to them what they decide on the day. But if I was in their space, I would say I've got nothing to lose. Let me go all out and go to Sundowns toe to toe. Maybe there's something you can get out of that, because when you are sitting back, you concede goals without playing. It does not help the image of the club. And I think their coaches are smart enough to consider really coming and pressing us from the top and really giving it a shot. And it's a cup match for that measure. They know they've got nothing to lose. So it's not going to be an easy game for us. I can tell you now. Even the last match that we played against them was not easy. And I'm even scared of them if they come to us, to be honest, because I know how dangerous they can be.
Okay, let's go to Cape Town and Sandile.
Thanks, Patu. Coach, externally, you are unplayable. You are dominant. ferocious. I mean, you're on top of the log. We've seen it in Africa, and here you are tonight. But internally, how far is your team from where you want it to be? And I mean, what do you change going to the semifinals?
Yeah, Sandile, I think the coaches had already touched on that question. I'll move on. Staying in Cape Town, Rob Delport.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, I know you've spoken about how you don't like losing. As defending champions of this of the Nedbank Cup, how much do you guys not want to give this trophy back?
We don't want to give any match away. It's never really looking at the trophy, looking at anything. I wish you can see the whole technical team when we're playing a friendly and we are not playing well, because I'm fortunate to be working with the coaches that also have the mentality that I have, because we all don't like to lose matches. And be it it's a cup match, be it it's Nedbank Cup or what, we just don't want to lose. And we'll always give our best shot in every game. And I do not want to create an impression as if there's something that we say differently to the players on a particular match. We always want to win a match. That is why we always put specific tactical agreements as to what we think the opponents are strong at, what are our opportunities there, what we think are the threats, and what is it that we need to do to try and exploit some of the challenges that the team might have. And we put that for every match, because it's very important for us to know every player within the team that we are going to play against. And we work very hard in that space. And I really want to give credit to all the guys that I work with.
Okay, the last question, Tsepang.
Coach Tsepang from Sokala Duma. I mean, we've seen glimpses of brilliance from Kapinga. I just wanted to check from you in terms of him breaking into that starting lineup. Is he in any way close? Just what more does he need? Maybe I know the quality that's already there with guys like Zwane, Serino, but just what more does he perhaps need to break into that starting lineup and play there regularly?
To be honest with you, the boy is very close. He's working very hard in his offensive game. But one area that we fight with him a lot, but he's improving, and I'm saying this with all the humility. He's improving a lot in his defensive play. He never used to understand the value of counter pressing. He never knew the value of maybe pressing from the top and working very hard to regain possession. And our team is a very high octane team. We put a lot of effort and energy in making sure that we as part of our team personality, we want to dominate the ball. We want all the stats in possession to favor us, in terms of penetration to favor us. We want to dominate the field. That is jewels, one, everything. We want to make sure that we dominate in all these aspects. And offensively, Kapinga probably is one of the top players that we can have. But his defensive game still needs some attention. But at the moment, he is very, very close to break into the first team. And if he has not broken, to be honest, because we gave him a game against Polokwane City to start, and he performed tremendously, scored some very good goals, and unfortunately he got injured at the hamstring after that, which is what has derailed him again to go and go back to the tube, because it's very difficult at Sundowns to just walk into the team. Look at us now. Ricardo Nascimento is outside, not playing, because he was suspended in the CAF Champions League, and we played other players and they performed well. How do you then take out those players because now he is no longer suspended? Life at Sundowns is not only difficult for the coaches, but it's also very difficult for the players.